Hi, Wizard. Hoping to answer your question about how to pick a proper software development company for your app. I wanted to share some of the things that I've gone through in my experience over the last couple of years as I've been developing an application called VendorSync. Um, One of the most important things right off the bat that I can really recommend is to create a statement of work. So everybody always talks about how software development, software is a different language. It's a completely different language. It's more than just the actual code itself. It's a different language. It's actually the communications with software developers. It's the entire process. It's a very analytical, very detail oriented project that the more that you can get and flush your ideas out first through statement of work and doing things like wireframes and mockups, you will find that your process is going to be more successful at the end. Now, with that being said, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is an example of something that I created a while back on a portal project I was working on, where I found a theme that I liked. I literally took it into PowerPoint, copied, pasted, kind of just put the pieces together and then put numbers to try to explain it. I tried to explain a little bit more details of who was going to be using it and like the structure of it, like super admin versus admin, owner, so forth, because you're going to have different permission levels is what that has to really, what that's about. Then I would try to break out more of the different details specifically of what I wanted it to do and how I was expecting it to do it. Now, instead of doing these basic PDF type things, one of my favorite tools is one that's called Mockflow. I've been using this to help design out the layout for VendorSync. And what I really like about it is when you come into it, you're actually able to go in and you can create clickable frames so you can kind of go through the process with it. So this is a mock-up that I made for a project I was doing a while back for a portal that you can see. If you kind of click on different items, it will actually take you to different pages. So if I want to go to estimates, I could do that. Or if I wanted to go to bills, they look the same basically. You could do so, or chart of accounts. But by making it to where I can go through and kind of click on the different details and show what they do, it made it very easy for me to map out all the details of it to communicate my concepts to a developer. So again, doing the mock-ups, doing your statement of work, those type of things are really, really important. One of the best places that you can go to find people to get started would be Upwork. Upwork helped me connect with a lot of developers to get my MVP built, minimum viable product. It is not the product I ended up with at the end of everything, but it helped me along the way to learn how to interact with developers, to what expectations I should have or shouldn't have, and to progress it. One of the key things to know, though, is it seems to be that anytime if you start a project with a certain developer and for some reason you move on to a different developer, you're almost always going to hear the other work was horrible and you're going to have to start all over. So just kind of plan that right off the bat. You're better off spending a little bit more money with a good quality developer as a project the first time, instead of doing just hourly blocks like they will probably suggest right away. Do a project, make sure it's fair, make sure you're compensating the person for their time. I mean, they're a small business owner too, and you'll get a much higher quality of work. I did get some great stuff going through Upwork. I've been very fortunate that after going through the process to develop an MVP, I now have been able to team up with a phenomenal software developer. I'm very lucky he's actually in the office with me, and we are getting very close to being able to beta our application, VendorSync. It's a QuickBooks desktop application that helps reduce data entry for accountants, and it took time to find somebody who had the specialized skill set for like the Intuit QuickBooks SDK. So the nice thing is, by going the process I did, by taking the time to learn about software development as much as I could, I can't code myself, but I literally studied the language as much as possible to make communication a bit easier. I was able to build a very minimal viable product, which my software developers turned around and made it 10 times stronger. So I hope this video, along with the response, kind of helps give you some feedback to it. More importantly, if you've got other questions, if there's ways I can help, I'm, again, not an expert in software development, but I'm always happy to share some of my experiences and my crazy ideas. So feel free to reach out if I can help. Best of luck.